cleaned my desk. I got an hour free today. It was magical. I cleaned. How are you guys tonight? Fill me in on your day. Do you guys like it when I tag everyone in the Discord? Because I don't know if I should do that. It's starting to warn me now. It's like, you're gonna talk to 200 people. You sure? And I'm like, yeah. It's my Discord. Hey, Chrissy. Oh, no! Don't get sick. You can do it. Oh, there it is. Guys, I don't think I showed you. The other day, I got this cool little elephant. He's a tape dispenser. He's minimal, but I love him. So he's going to feed me tape now out of his body. It's a little dark, but it's his job, I guess? I don't know. Yeah. Can you hear the car running in the background? It's our AC. Yeah, it's a little bit rough right now. However, tomorrow and the next day it's supposed to thunderstorm, and usually that does bring down the temp, and I looked ahead and it said it was 70s the rest of the week after that, for a week after, so I'm at least excited about that. Because yeah, right now it's 80, which I'm actually okay with 80. It's when, okay, I'm not okay with 80, but I'll take it. I mean, it's 9 p.m. and it's 80 degrees out, so like this earlier today. Alright, let me announce this really quick. Did you guys see today's Journey June tip for those participating? Keeps trying to do Cloverfield, and I was like, no, not Cloverfield, no. Sorry, not listening. How good can you guys hear me with 3 fans on and AC? Okay? Like if I talk this low, can you still hear me? Oh shit, I put it on the wrong account. Oh. Well, actually, I'll leave that. Oh. Whatever. I will just let it happen. 2 seconds, since I put on the wrong thing. I don't know now. I guess my T-pigs.
Is it okay?
Yeah. It's probably in a bag. Okay, sorry. Here we go. Elephant. Nano, thank you for the hose. Oh, she auto-hosted. Yeah, Kristen, rest. That's good. You got rest. 1, 2. can hear you. Okay, good. Is the white noise distracting? I could probably... Hold on. Oh, it is on low. Oh, sorry. It's not. Okay, so real quick. Yeah, the fan. So... I'm gonna go through this real quick. Alright, I put this on the Journey June Instagram, and I think on the Twitter. But, the tip for today is to stay simple, okay? So, I saved this one for one of the last days because I wanted it to be in the forefront of people's mind for the most part. A lot of people are kind of being overzealous, and it's gonna hurt. So I've been going around through the entire tag, which lately has been around 150 posts, something like that. And I've been commenting on the ones that are a little bit too detailed and suggesting to pull it back. But the problem is a lot of people don't know how to pull back a design a bit. So I put this post up, and in the text it's got a couple tips on how to pull back with that. So thank you. And then on this next one, I have don't forget your story does not need to be in color, fully rendered, any particular genre, any particular visual template, meaning you don't need to do a comic, you don't need to do a storybook, do whatever fits your story. But at the bottom, you know, do not use pre-existing characters. You know, it's going to be a whole mess if you do. And then this right now. So, hopefully that helps. If anybody has any questions on that, let me know. I'll do my best to answer any of them. And like I said, I reorganized my desk, so now I don't know where anything is. I'll find it somewhere. Simple is key. Yep. And then tomorrow's message will be the most important. In my opinion, you guys are going to be so eye-rolly at me about it because it's so typical me that it's okay. Good information's good information, right? Regardless. Seriously though, I got 1 hour today to do something of just freedom. And what do? I clean. And I'm so happy I cleaned. If you're so busy, you cannot clean, and cleaning sounds like a reward to you, you might be way too busy. Just saying. Hi, Shy Unleashed. How are you? Welcome. Yeah, so doing ATC size, that's a good point. That'll help because it'll make it so you keep it really simple. I'm even saying though, like, Gabe thought of this the other day, Galvasaur, to even make it like this big, right? Do you have your concepts around anywhere? I'll show you guys what Gabe's are like. I'm sure you've seen his posts, but when it comes to keeping things simple, a lot of people don't know that when you draw them small, it's gonna make it so it's already simple. And this basically only goes for traditional work. If you're doing digital, there's not a tactile, visceral difference between how big something is, because you can always zoom in, you can always make the canvas bigger. So really there's no... It's weird because you don't feel that it's smaller because it's digital, so I would... Digital? So I would definitely do it on paper.
I think
but
if you only have digital or whatever,
yeah.
Turn off Zoom. Just turn it off. Don't use Zoom.
That's true. But why would you only have digital?
I don't know. Yeah.
Don't use digital. If anything, put it on a post-it note. I know you've got a post-it note and something. Draw with ketchup if you got nothing. But anyway, so he was trying all these shape languages, but obviously you can't get too detailed like this one. Obviously went a bit too far. So he pulled back on a lot of them and went more this route. You know? So you can only get so detailed if you're drawing small. And these are, you know, this big. There's like 30 of these on here, something like that. I don't know. But make it small. Same with your character. And then block in, like, you know, little what you call it. Block in areas so that your shape language speaks when it's far away too. If you can read it, that's good. That's a good thing. Thank you, Paladin. Hi, HT. Hi, Brian. Is it weird that I ordered cheap gouache finally? No. No, in fact, while I was cleaning, this is all the gouache I bought the other day. This is like $100 of gouache. These are Winsor Newtons, so, okay, it's not $100, but there's a lot here. And I got one of these. Oh man, I can't tell you guys how useful a 6-inch ruler is. Seriously. Especially if you like drawing small. Which, like I said, if you're not used to drawing and you're trying to learn to draw every day, or, you know, you're just starting to draw, or even if you're just not used to, like I said, drawing a lot, draw small first. Don't go for, you know, 8 by 10 and up. Don't do that. Get like a little one of these. They're about as big as your head. They are 5 by 8, basically. So I'd even say that's too big. Maybe just cut it in half and try to work with that on each side. Because that's going to really help you figure out shape language and stuff quicker. But yeah, gouaches. So when you buy paint, make sure you're buying paint that like speaks to your palette. And these are all very much my palette colors. And if you put my gouaches next to Gabe's gouaches, you'd see that we have very different palettes. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, so today I thought I would actually try to figure out this one part of Hazel's story, my Journey to June character, and answer any questions you guys might have on character design or any Journey June stuff you might have. I've actually been getting a ton of questions on Tumblr. Funny enough, a lot of people have been asking anonymously, which I think is a good thing, because then it encourages people to ask questions. I'm fine with that. And it posts them publicly. So I was almost thinking of making a FAQ, frequently asked questions, whatever. It sounds weird to say it like as a word. Anyway, I was going to do that for June too, just in case we get some people coming in. I just feel really bad for anyone coming in like the first week or second week. Actually, any time in June, I feel bad if they come late. Just 'cause it's like, ooh, Calavera! Shots fired, oh my god. Okay, I was a little afraid to write what I did in Discord, if that's what you're referring to, because it sounds like you're pretty much pointing that out. But it needed to be said. And you know me, I'm not the type to not say things. I don't have much of a filter, especially when it comes to honesty. I don't like excuses, and there was an excuse, and I wasn't having it. I think that's funny though. But hey, next year. You guys know saying next year is a whole year away? A year is a really long time. I've only been dating Gabe 2.5 years. I feel like it's been a fucking decade. That's not a bad thing, but I'm saying, like, a year is a long time. Creative Melodia, hello, welcome. Welcome to the channel. Let me know if I can answer any questions for you. Or tell me where you found me. Ooh, Fire Seal, yeah. Gouache will be fun for you. Just make sure to do, you know, washes and then do the opaque stuff on top of that. Once it's dried. Days 2 through 4. I know, those, honestly, those are the hardest days because they're the establishing shots. So, depending on how you're treating the challenge itself, like if you're making it a comic, if you're making it like paneled storyboards sort of thing, like, or just an illustration, that I think is going to be the hardest. For people going the storybook route, honestly, comic is the easiest route, I think, because, you know, you can break down action and stuff and have more explanation, even if there's no words, you know, you're showing more. But I think those of us who I might take this route, if not, I'll do very light paneling, and when I say paneling, I just mainly mean almost like a picture-in-picture where it's like blurred a little. I wonder if I have a book with that. Shit. I'll have to ask Gabe when he comes out. It's pretty prevalent in like French comics and stuff. But anyway, so if you're doing the storybook route, you're going to have a little bit harder of a time just because you have to sum it all up in one illustration. And so I kind of consider that hard mode. But we'll see. Don't feel bad, little muscle. Yeah. Single panel page. It's going to be rough. Yeah, I think at most I would do 3 panels, but I don't know. I'm not going to have much time for this either, you guys. I might even miss a day or 2, but I'll catch up with them. It's just, with what we've got, you know, it's going to be crazy. Hey, D-Pad! Real question. How strict are the prompts? Because the sidekick one, I have mine since day 1. Okay, so Calavera, that's what I'm saying. I was actually, I think, talking about this last night on Gabe's stream. I have a sidekick too, but I'm choosing to introduce them on the day with Sticky Situation is basically when they're supposed to come in. I would highly suggest you do it that way, just to avoid having too many characters. Because if you have the sidekick when they start, then you're going to end up with 3 characters for sure, and then depending on if you take the magic mentor with you or not, you'd have 4. Like, that's getting a bit crazy, so it's totally up to you, because really you can end up just taking 2 the entire journey if you want. Or even if your sidekick leaves, you don't technically need to keep them. I think Gabe and I left it open, so really you can do whatever you want, if you want to keep them, if you want to ditch them. But we do think it's good you get used to having character interaction, because really it's about that, like we call it staging, right? It's part of composition. Learning how to treat characters in a scene depending on what they're doing. Very important. So also remember that the ones that are establishing prompts, so like Magical Mentor, don't just draw the mentor in a pose, right? That's just a character design. We want to introduce the mentor. So show how the heroes and stuff come in on him, or show how they meet, or maybe they already knew each other, something like that, you know? So you have all the characters in the scene and show them interacting. Does that help? I mean, how big of a role does the pet have? Is it more of an accessory? Because Calavera, if you're talking about the pig, you talking about the pig? I like the pig. The pig could just, if he's kind of an unspoken thing that's just kind of an accessory, always there, doesn't really help in any situation, that's okay. But be prepared then to add in another person, because you need another person, or another character that's a character, the complex figure, you know. Hi Ushi! Dried pasta all over the kitchen. I'd assume it'd be okay as long as you don't step on any. Like the minute they just pop and burst, I'd be like, fuck this. No. Oh, that works, Calavera. Yeah. Magic Mentor just gives them the truth. Magic Mentor can give you anything. For anyone else who's looked through the list, let me know if you do have any confusion, and if you can let me know early on, it could help everyone. Because of course this makes sense to Gabe and I, but when trying to appropriate it for, you know, a beginning audience that's trying to do this for the first time, we did run into some trouble. It's like how, you know, the questions we asked for each one of them were a little difficult, you know, because we just know kind of how to do it, but to actually say how to do it is another thing altogether. So if any of those things are confusing, let us know. Definitely let us know. What's your challenge, Fire Seal? What do you mean? Shoot, I forgot to do my... Damn it. Alright, hold on. I can actually do this, just because I'm falling behind. done an actual Cloverkin post in a while, and I was gonna do it tonight, and I even took the picture, but because I was doing everything else and got so excited to clean, I forgot to do it. So this isn't my good posting time, sadly, but something's better than nothing, right? But yeah, I'd love to hear if you guys have any problems or questions with any of the prompts. I used to like the thing that says structure that's in Instagram, but now I don't like it as much. It seems to just sharpen the hell out of your image.
I used to like sharpen that. Damn it. Never mind.
You screwed up, didn't you?
So I used to like sharpen at structure.
Oh, you really messed that up. That's cute.
Yeah.
Hashtag watercolor. No. Oh my god. Stupid.
Did you read what Creative Melodia said? I can read it to you.
Oh yeah, that's great. I'm so glad. Yeah, I know if we just left the initial prompts, it wouldn't work for this challenge because this challenge needs a little bit more explaining. You know, it's not an illustration challenge, it's a storytelling challenge. So for anyone that doesn't tell stories, they need to know.
Bye, Fire Seal.
Bye, Fire Seal! Oh, get on your sleep schedule. You can do it. Oh, the spilled pasta. Oh no. Yeah, Melody, if you have any questions about it, since you've read through it, let me know. I know a lot of people have trouble with number 4. And I can totally go into that if anyone's having trouble, but... Wow. Do you know them, Gossamer?
I try to shut those people down like immediately. Like if I see them like just dumping shit, I'm like, yo, hold on.
Well, it depends on who it is.
Yeah. Well, usually if it's not somebody that I know personally, like that I'm close with,
Yeah.
then I'm like, yo, hold up. I don't have time to read all this shit. Give me a TLDR.
Yeah. That's a good thought. Okay.
Stop using likes and ums. Abbreviate and.
Okay. Sorry, that happened. I gotta do that. Okay. Who gives you books to read? Like, who is sending you so many, things that you don't... It's not me, is it? I mean, it can't be.
Oh, so they came to apologize, or what?
What the fuck? Oh, Goss, was this the thing earlier that we were talking about even? Is that what you're talking about? Mean people? Mean people suck.
Is that person even an artist?
Well, she said they weren't even giving constructive criticism. They were just basically being mean. It's like,
No.
that's not good.
Well, that's what I mean. I wonder if they're even an artist. Like,
Do not know. Okay, guys. So, tonight, I suppose I should get drawing as we're a half an hour in already. How did that happen? Well, I threw out a bunch of my little pencil nubs today. I had so many. That was crazy. Okay, so... I think I need a new one. No, I don't. Hey Ashley, how you doing? So, I took Hazel's design, and I simplified it to this. But I'm actually thinking I'm not gonna do this. So that means this page is totally obsolete, which is the point of concept art. So that's okay. So when you get to, I guess it could be, it depends. It's if you want the magic mentor to give them new gear, you could do that, or you could have the merchant do it. The merchant's at number 22 though, so that's over 2/3 through the story. So I don't want her to start with this outfit though. I do want her to start with this undergarment, but I don't necessarily want her to start full blown here. And so I'm debating that. So I was gonna draw a couple options. How are we? We're stressed. I got an hour today where I was free to do whatever I wanted, and I cleaned. If you're so busy you get excited about cleaning, something's wrong. You're not taking enough breaks, going a little crazy. If anybody looks at my Twitter or my Insta stories, and woo! It's nuts. Anyway, is unfollowed and blocked you. Oh. Why? No, don't give him exposure. No, you don't need to do that. We don't want anybody following him if he's a jerk. Reminds you of Winnie the Pooh. Okay, I'll take that. Sure. I mean, usually I get Beatrix Potter and stuff, but is it just because it's a simplified bear, Brian? Be honest. Is it because it's a simple bear?
Did you like immediately go to that? Like, what's another bear? Winnie the Pooh.
What do you mean? What's another bear?
No, I mean like when people just say, "Oh, it reminds me of this." Did you just think of the next immediate bear that could pop in your head?
Well, to be fair, when I first drew her on the stream, everybody was saying Paddington. And it was because of the hat. I think it was this. Like this kind of face with that hat. So, okay. If I'm getting Paddington and Winnie the Pooh, I'll take that as a compliment. To be fair though, Brian, have you ever had somebody say that about your art yet? Because you should know, kind of ends up irking people if you say it too much. Or if you ever go to someone at a con and they've got original art and you say that, it's like, it's a compliment, but at the same time, they're like, everybody wants to be original, right?
Cass, I like that this guy doesn't post like ever. And all this shit is garbage.
Yeah, Cass, he might still be like...
It's this guy. And we've seen him before.
Oh, but yeah, this isn't art, man. Multidiscipline. Is that his real name, though, at the top? That S name? It's hard to be anything in 2018. I totally feel you. But it's like, oh my god, at conventions... One of the things people always say is, this reminds me of Redwall. I didn't know what Redwall was. I also get Mouse Guard and Brian Froud, which those are cool. No one usually says Beatrix Potter. Instead, they'll say really old storybook illustrations, and then I'll say like Peter Rabbit, Beatrix Potter, and then they're like, yeah! So they don't really know what her name is. But I get Redwall all the time, and what's weird is Redwall doesn't have like illustrations really. They have book covers and then it's their novels. So basically they're imprinting my art as Redwall, which is kind of neat actually if you think about it. If there wasn't already a predetermined style that was very that thing, but it still reminds someone of a novel, that's kind of cool, My Little Pony. Oh no.
Calavera though, do you get a lot of people asking about the movie instead? Because like, from what I remember, the name of your book is like really close to the movie about the unicorn.
Last Unicorn?
Yeah. So I imagine you get that a lot.
Was it like the final unicorn? Honestly, I should also draw a couple citizen bears, I guess, to show kind of what they'd look like. But at the same time, I was even contemplating having her live in a city with bears or a city with other animals, like bunnies and stuff, which I might throw in some bunnies and stuff, but I kind of felt like if I didn't have any bears, it was going to be way too Kung Fu Panda. Because, I mean, if you think about it, Poe just lived with geese and pigs and rabbits and no other bears. It is called Last Unicorn? Oh, Calavera. Oh, man.
I remember I got a copy of his book, and I was like, oh, this is rad. It's a cool story. But then my ex at the time was like, is that based on the movie? Or I think it was a children's book too.
Oh, that would drive me nuts.
Yeah, and I'm like,
that's your fault though. That is totally your fault. You gotta do research. Research! Yesterday's prompt title. Make sure you do research, y'all.
Cass, what did that guy say though?
Remember to call her Goss.
Gossamer, what did that guy say though?
Spongy shows up. So, Cass, we're gonna start calling you Goss just because Spongy is also a Cass, and she was getting really confused. So we gotta call you by your handle.
Paladin, I actually thought of that too. I just didn't tell Ashley about the village in the trees.
Oh, because of Ewoks? I'm not putting bears in trees, you guys.
No.
Ewoks.
No, because bears, like, the only reason they go up to get honey. Like,
yeah.
They wouldn't. I don't think they would live up in the trees.
I'm just not gonna do it just because of Ewoks.
That too.
No, that only. Like, that's enough for me not to do it. Plus, these things are fat. I'm not going to deal with them climbing. So that's one of the things you have to think about. Do you want to draw a bear climbing or rappelling? No, I don't want to do that.
Wow, really, dude? Try to sue you?
Oh, you can't copyright titles. Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow. Good to know.
Why is this guy even concerned about your journey versus his? Have you told him you're a completely different artist with a completely different style, with a completely different experience than me, and we're not even trying to go for the same thing? There's no comparing. This guy is totally naive and a bother.
Wow. Like, what the fuck?
Cass, you know what to tell him. You know, we've prepared you for this. Seriously, that's petty. That means he's insecure as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that means. Okay, so I have to get used to her looking like this, I guess. So she's kind of a drop shape. So her knees are here. Her skirt, honestly, really comes to about there. And it falls off her hips, about here. She's a belle. That's okay. She's a belle. And then her sleeves come down about a third of the way and puff out. Her arms might not be long enough. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Should she start with her outfit and just get a more pimped out version of the outfit? Where it's this one with the hat and everything? Or would you rather see her without the hat and the overcoat and maybe just like a simpler hat? Because I'm a little stuck on that. And this is where it's good to have a little art crew. Like, luckily Gabe and I have each other to kind of ask each other. But usually Gabe doesn't ask me, I just tell him. But that's kind of what our Discord's for. So if you guys are stuck on anything, you know, feel free to join the Discord. And if you're having trouble getting the link, let me know. It's been finicky. But that's what it's for. You know, make that art community and put it to work. Because it can be good for you. Let's see. Yeah, Calvera, right? Like, if anything, I give a lot of cartoony styles and simplified styles a lot more credit because they're so bold, and if they've got good motion and shape language, that's way better than something that's detailed. which is really funny when you start working conventions and you've got a couple things out on the table that are originals and some things kind of detailed. Like, I don't get too detailed, but the things that I do have that are a little bit busy, people buy those more just because they say, oh, this is so detailed. When really, I'm more proud of my ones that are simple, because that means I had to really know what I was doing and know which lines were the most necessary, right? Regular people don't understand that. So conventions can be a bit maddening because of that. Maybe, Kev, I could do that. I'm just trying to figure out if she would get the outfit from the mentor and get it earlier if I do the one that I designed, or later on from the merchant. Because we've kind of given you a couple places you could, you know, get some stuff in. But it's up to you ultimately. I do want her to have some kind of hat, or maybe like a bonnet if she doesn't already have a witch hat. Maybe just a tiny witch hat? Oh, that looks stupid. I'm not gonna do that. Kind of like the bonnet. Yeah, that guy's really petty, Goss. I would not even give him the time of day. Like, if he starts yelling at you or something again, just don't even respond. That's the best way to deal with trolls, is don't even respond. Even if they get crazy and they start sending you all these messages and stuff, don't respond. Hey Uber, long time. Where you been? Thank you, Kev, right? What am I doing for the villain? So, I'm going kind of a Miyazaki route, where there is no actual villain. If you look at a lot of Miyazaki movies, his villain is just someone else who has a different perspective on their own goals, you know? So like Lady Eboshi in Mononoke, she's not necessarily a villain. A little more villainous than the other Ghibli villains, like let's say like even Madame Sullivan in Howl's Moving Castle, she's not even technically too bad of a villain. Oh, Ponyo's dad. Okay, Ponyo's dad just wants to protect his daughter. So he looks like a villain just because he's trying to separate her from the boy. I forgot his name. What?
Liam Neeson always trying to get his daughter back.
He's always trying to get his daughter back.
Fuck?
Ponyo is taken 0, basically. But yeah, like, he's not a villain. Everybody just has a different goal, and the goals conflict. They're not, you know, type of thing, right?
Mr. Freeze.
So my villain isn't even a villain. They're gonna have done something to Hazel, but, and I do have this more figured out in my head, but I don't want to say too much. But they'll have done something to her, and she thinks they're a bad guy, and then they're not. Basically, spoilers. Totoro's villain is illness. I would say Totoro's is basically non-existent, really. If anything, it's just that the girls are on their own. I would say that's more neglect. The villain's neglect. Because the dad is a workaholic. So the kids are always in the forest, or what's May and Mai? The older one's always taking care of the younger one. So I think the villain in that one is actually neglect. I would say illness is for Arietti. Illness is the bad thing. As well as the old lady that tries to find all the borrowers, you know.
Crazy bit.
Why is he at your house throughout the week? He's your brother's friend?
Yeah.
Don't talk to him. Just don't talk to him. He's not gonna get it. And in fact, he might actually have a crush on you.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't forget that boys do mean things when they like you for some reason. Darth Vader's misunderstood. I think Darth Vader has the same problem a lot of alcoholics do, honestly. You know, he got a little brain damage or something along the way, and then he doesn't even know he's doing wrong, really. He just thinks he's being a good guy. I don't know.
I think he's just upset that his girlfriend died.
Yeah. But he did kill children. I don't know. That's up for debate.
He liberated them. If you ask me.
I'm just saying, guys. It's a possibility.
Dad, no.
I mean, you know, that's when, you know, you can get a little bit deeper with your characters, is if the villain is actually doing it for a good reason. Thanos, good guy. In my opinion, I agree with him. It's that sort of thing, you know? I don't like this hat. This hat doesn't know.
It is always humans destroying the earth, isn't it?
But I mean, think about the good parts of even Lady Eboshi when she was, you know, helping the lepers. Like, she was a humanitarian, she just wasn't an environmentalist, if you think about it that way. It was differing political views with a fantasy twist, right? So she was really nice because she took in the lepers, she gave them purpose, she took care of them. You know, she was compassionate. She just didn't want to have to deal with the forest and its bullshit. You know? Or Princess Mononoke basically being an extremist, you know? Being like a kamikaze terrorist bomber type, you know? That was a child.
There she was. There she
Rogue
is.
child.
Princess Mononoke is freaking out.
Ushi, I don't think you're an alcoholic yet. Be careful, though. I mean, it says if Obi-Wan cut his hands. Yeah, isn't the real villain Obi-Wan?
Piece of shit.
He took his kid, turned him against him, right? I don't know. He's tearing apart family. I'm just kidding.
And then he fucks with him. Then he fucks with his son. And he's like, oh yeah, I used to know your dad.
Oh, Brian asked if we're still in Von House. No, we actually moved out end of January. Why are you asking? Because of the internet thing? I noticed they don't have internet, according to Tim's stories online and stuff. And Tyler's. I think I've seen Tyler's too. But why did he ask, Brian? Is it that? No, we moved out in January. We live about an hour away more north, which is cheaper than living down there, if we were to get a place down there. Well, it was cheaper anyway moving out, funny enough. But, no, because of the kid. No, yeah, someone else, a neighbor. We really never hear anything, so... Three-dimensional. Yeah, Calavera, I'm with you on that.
Like Toy Story? 3-dimensional?
Gabe, you're such a dad sometimes. Dad jokes. Oh. Also, a tip and or trick for redrawing a character many, many times over if you're not used to it, because a lot of people aren't used to it. You want to, like, take notes of where things are on their face. Okay, so like looking straight forward, knowing where their eyes are in relation to their nose and their mouth, so that when they turn it, you can line it up again and figure it out where it is. So also figuring out measurement techniques. So like if their head is this high, how many heads high of their own head are they? Because you've designed this character, right? You've figured out what they are, so you should know, you know, about how tall they are, because it's completely up to you. But it's good to have these little measurement things in mind so that you're able to recall them on the fly and draw them when you need to. But yeah, that'll help you draw them over and over and over again. And having obvious distinguishing factors like Hazel's ears here, she's kind of scruffy, you know. But I'm trying to figure out if I do want her to have a a lame version before she gets cool, but I don't know. I am kind of just leaning towards her regular one. Maybe it just changes color. Are we gonna color them? I don't know. We're really not gonna have very much time. And that's not an excuse. It doesn't mean that we're not gonna do it. We're still gonna do it. But we might end up doing like bare minimum on it. It depends. Gabe might be able to do his fully.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna not do it on purpose. Like
you doing spot blacks?
No, the furthest I will go. 99% of the time, it's just gonna be pencils.
Yeah.
To be honest.
You know, I feel like we should, even if we get the inkling to go further than that, we should almost set an example. Because we did tell people, you know, at least rough pencils. We just want you to get everything solid down on the paper. You know, this isn't an illustration challenge.
You know what I don't want is for people to be like, oh, I can't do this. Like, Gabe just did like an entire page in full color.
We get that a lot too, and it's flattering, but at the same time, we don't want you to feel discouraged. You know, we want you to feel like we're down on the field with you. With how busy we are, yeah, we're gonna be, but you know, we're gonna probably just do pencils.
That's so weird that everyone goes like immediately to.
Maybe it's good. It looks like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just as a rule, though, I try not to compare any artist's stuff just to make them feel better. But I get the Winnie the Pooh thing. I get it.
Like, all you uncultured swine, do you not know of Paddington Bear?
I got Paddington the first time when I drew her on the first stream, which is fine. I don't care.
Winnie the Pooh isn't even real. He's a Muppet.
I've tried to like really disassociate because of that, because when you're at a convention and you hear it all the time, it gets a little, I don't know. When you were next to me at ASEN, how many times did someone say Redwall or Mouse Guard or, you know, anything else? If they say Brian Froud, that's a compliment. If it's something I'm shooting for, that's a compliment. But if it's something I haven't heard of or seen, I do research it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I do take Redwall as a compliment just because it's a novel, and it hasn't really been established with illustrations. So that means that my stuff is reminding them of something they saw in their head from writing. So it's almost a little bit better, but anyway. Oh, the Paddington book was good. I like that. I haven't seen the movie, though.
Cute shit.
Yes, Ushi, enlarged thumbnails. For anyone who's never done this before, if you just want to get down thumbnails and for you that's a lot, that's fine. Honestly, gauge the whole thing to what you can do and your level. Okay, I know that's hard for some people because people like guidelines a lot of the time. They like a lot. I've gotten so many questions on Tumblr about guidelines. It's crazy. Like, people are asking me size. I mean, do what you're comfortable with, but I'd say definitely under 6x9. Like, 100%. If I were you, I'd do like 5x4 or under.
Fold a sheet of paper in half, like a computer sheet of paper in half.
Go smaller than that even, you know? Do it twice. Fold it into 4, you know? Because then each one is like 4 inches or something, and that's more than enough.
Fun fact, one of my mentors, he goes by the name of Moritat. He's a DC comic artist, and he actually draws all his comic pages on 8.5 by 11 paper.
Does he really?
He folds it in half, and then each half of it is a page.
That's because Justin's difficult.
Yeah.
And he would do that.
Because he finds it like easier to get, like he can do the pages quicker.
Yeah, but I mean, like, does he charge less for them because they're...
No.
When he like sells the originals?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, he's good.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But it you know, it helps him get more dynamic poses out, like easier.
Yeah.
and it just takes a lot less time to ink it.
I mean, that's fine, but computer paper for inking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks. Maybe I'll give her a beat up witch hat so she's at least still got a witch hat.
What am I linking, X?
Oh, she wants you to link Justin.
I guess just Google Moritat. 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 I mean, I don't know where he posts his shit these days, but I think he only posts on DeviantArt, to be honest. Which is really weird.
Oh, Justin. Don't post on DeviantArt, y'all.
Yeah, and then he colors everything digitally, obviously. Or he used to have me color everything digitally. But sometimes he actually does some extra like multimedia shit on it, so he'll like
Oh, the glows?
Huh?
He taught you to do the glows like you do, right?
No, I figured that on my own. I've been doing that forever. Yeah.
I thought he taught you that.
Nah.
So I saw an elephant man thing like that. I was like, oh, that's where he got it.
No, he'll do like really like ink washes, you know?
Yeah.
And then he'll go in with some like white pen and stuff and make it look a little more traditional.
Oh, that's
And then he goes into Photoshop and he adds in color and keeps going with it. Yeah, you got it. I think literally it's just more to DeviantArt.
Why did you choose that name? Do you know? Do you make it up?
No, it means something. It's like
Is it French?
yeah, I think so.
It probably wouldn't even have the T at the end then and be like Moritat or something.
It means
Kev says he has a lefty bio. I think that's cute, Ushi. I know it was probably offensive to you at the time, but I think that's cute.
murder ballad.
What's wrong with DeviantArt? It's become a joke. It's not a reputable portfolio site whatsoever. I had people that applied for a job when I was hiring people with their DeviantArt, and you never want something like that where comments can really be seen to interfere with the art itself, because that's going to give any hirer, employer, any like bad feelings and stuff. Plus, it's not a, like I said, ArtStation. If you want to get to what DeviantArt was back in the day, ArtStation is more of a good art portfolio site, or even still Behance. If you can't do your own domain name and your own website, which is ideal, like brianbotello.com, way better than deviantart.com/blah, or brianbotello.deviantart.com. Like, have your own domain. It makes you look like you really know what you're doing. Okay? If you're sending people your Instagram gallery, like your DeviantArt, no.
You got to think about what just about everyone thinks about DeviantArt, and then think about the art directors and who they hire, and then they, like the art directors at this point are, they're young now.
And you think about all the famous people who are still on DeviantArt, like I think J. Scott Campbell's still on there. A lot of those people still get like subsequent income from it by doing like prints and things, because the kids on there aren't there to like give feedback or anything. It's basically a store for them. The only reason I use DeviantArt now is for stock images. That area is still great. Honestly, like Senchi stock, there's probably 2 other stock ones I use. They're great. Stock photos are great. It's just I went back to DeviantArt over the course of 20 years now. Close to 20, at least 15, where I've gone there back 3 times, and it has just been horrible. Like one time, the first thing I posted, someone commented with fag. And that's it. I was like, alright, obviously this is not a reputable place, you know, and I was like, no. I was like, really? Some of the art's really beautiful, but at the same time, you can find that artist elsewhere as well. And I would almost rather go support them there. Plus, DeviantArt has not made a good mobile service at all to be able to make it easy. It's a pain in the ass to upload anything onto Deviant. Instagram is where it's at now for, you know, anything art related. That community is fantastic because there's a ton of artists, there's a ton of reputable artists, and there's a ton of normal people who are not artists who can actually, like, get to you and give you feedback and say they want it, and so you can as easily make friends with artists on Instagram like you would on DeviantArt, but at the same time get your work in front of normies, people that aren't artists who might want to buy it. It's like the perfect culmination of the two.
You know, also the chance of you accidentally scrolling down and seeing some boobs while you're at work.
Yeah.
That's rare to see in Instagram.
Yeah, DeviantArt is kind of a hell pit. Unfortunately, because back in its heyday, it was fantastic. It was basically what Instagram is now. And then the new DeviantArt actually kind of became Tumblr. When Tumblr came out, that's basically what that was. So, I don't know, and then Instagram came out and it was like the best in-between where it didn't have the bullshit politics of Facebook, but it was still good for art and still good for, you know, just getting in front of people's eyes, the exposure, honestly. It's been wonderful.
Kalia, the best options these days for a portfolio site is Behance and ArtStation.
Yeah, but honestly, number one, best, get your own domain name and learn how to do a website. Honestly, Wix and Squarespace, I have a Squarespace and I fucking love it. Okay, it's a little bit more expensive, but you get so much more ease with it, and having your own domain just looks really professional. If you're the type to go and apply for jobs that are like 40-hour week, 9-to-5 type jobs, like a career job, you basically need your portfolio on its own website, because immediately that's a first impression. When I had people that were trying to get hired by me and they were sending me DeviantArts and stuff, and I was like, no, have your own domain. You know, you're gonna look professional, and honestly, just looking professional sometimes is what they want to see. They want to see that you're treating it seriously, you know, and that you can do it, and that you can apply yourself. It tells a lot about somebody, honestly. So like Cloverkin.com, I have it, it's mine. All this sort of thing. And it has to do with your brand too, and being able to, you know, get everything under your brand name. Make sure, you know, there's like a top 10 list I made of the best guidelines for your name, things like that. It depends on what you're doing though. You know, I could go into that.
I guess if you're trying to get a job at like a specific type of company that does specific type of illustrations with a lot of animal-based anthropomorphic characters, then then DeviantArt might be the right site for you.
If you're like applying for a job where you draw furries or something, yeah, Deviant might be great. Honestly, if you know, maybe the boss is like, oh, I have a DeviantArt and blah blah blah, that might be a good, you know, point there. But I mean, if you're trying to get a job at Blizzard or something, no way, man, no way. You gotta look the part. You gotta be the best there is. Look super professional. Walk the walk. It sucks. It's one of those things it's really tough. I get it. I don't like the bonnet. This is okay. I'm not digging it too much though. Maybe if it closed in front. Make it a little bit better. Not crazy though.
I really don't understand why they haven't gotten a good mobile app together. Like
that's beyond me.
They are like 5 years behind.
Not only that, but like when you are uploading on the website and they don't do the hashtag thing really, and it's that categorization that they do where it's like, okay, is it a painting, is it a drawing, is it a what, blah blah blah. You do that, then it goes into a subcategory, and you do that in another subcategory. And I remember doing it up to 4. Maybe they've changed it now, but I was like, are you serious?
Really, yeah.
This is crazy. Ah. So Ushi, yeah, that does suck that Facebook owns Instagram, but I do think they do a fair enough job separating the two so Instagram doesn't feel like Facebook. Not only that, but you guys are going to be mad at me for this. The advertising and the marketing, it's evil, but it works. It's part of playing the game. So like, let's say you had a giveaway or an art contest, you might want to put $10 into that, because it does help. Hashtags get you so far, and then if you want more visibility, the marketing does really help. I know it's terrible, but you gotta play the game sometimes. Especially if, you know, you're trying to get your art out there, you gotta do what you gotta do. See the hat backwards.
It's sort of like a shitty thing, but we as artists are like,
I mean, you change with the times, right?
yeah, you have to stick to, you know, to what's hot, or else you will not survive.
Yeah. Like the artists that aren't doing conventions, let's say, you're missing a lot. You know, because if you're doing conventions and you have a good internet presence, you're getting two really big important things instead of just being internet famous or just being, you know, in person. There's a big, like, draw to having both, especially when, like, Twitch, you know, having someone actually meet you in real life at a convention is totally above just having someone talking to you on the internet a bunch. You know?
Fucking Calavera's got it right on the head. Like, marketing is pro. It is professional.
Yeah.
If you want to be a professional artist, you need you gotta do the marketing. You gotta roll with the bad companies.
Yeah. You still don't have to be a whore, an art whore, but there you go, Jaunty. Yeah. I just think DA died a long time ago. 'Cause, I mean, there's no... Unless you're just a person, like, I guess X, you're just throwing stuff out there and you're not really depending on feedback or anything like that. You're either there to look or you're just posting, right? But for people who want feedback and want an art community and all that stuff, DeviantArt sucks for that. Like, it's not even good anymore. Now it's like, have a Discord. Okay, be on Discord. Discords are basically your own little DeviantArts around more concentrated topics in a community you've found and you've cultivated, you know? Define art whore? Do I have to? I think you know. What am I known for, Calavera?
I get so, like, looking at your likes. What do you mean, like looking at the things that people have liked that you posted, or the things that you have physically liked yourself? Because I mean, I don't remember the last time I went back and looked at all the things that I liked.
That, or, I mean, I save things,
yeah,
and that's different than liking. You know, Instagram has a save, right? Not just a like. There's the heart, and then there's the bookmark. I use the bookmark all the time. It's basically the equivalent to favorites on DeviantArt. And I never look through other people's favorites. I don't care to, you know, on Deviant. So I don't know. I don't know why I'd need that, I guess. But everybody needs something different. If you like DeviantArt and you want to use it, go for it. I'm telling you our opinion, and like the fact I used to be an employer and hired people. I'm telling you straight up what we looked for. So, no, Cass, you are not an art whore. I am saying fan art. If you're selling fan art, you're whoring out art. Okay? I didn't want to say the F word, but I'm doing it. Blame away a lot of the online art community for a chance of others. Yeah, Calavera, you know me. You know what I'm gonna say. Yeah, an art whore to me is someone that does art just for money and not so much for their own personal growth. Oh, maybe just a cute little sun hat.
Yeah, keep it simple.
I don't know though. I do still really like the original design and maybe just doing the holographic version, you know? Yeah, X, the bookmark is the favorites from DeviantArt basically.
I mean, it doesn't give you like...
Yeah, Gus, that's not what we're talking about.
You can't break it down into like, you know, like specific folders or anything.
Yes, you can.
But can you?
They're called collections.
Oh,
so
shit.
So if, okay, here, I can even show you. No, not for me. Let's see, okay. Ready for this? Alright. See the little bookmark there? That's your favorites. If I wanted to favorite this, hold it down to add it to a collection. If you hold it down, up comes the collection. So it's almost one-upping DeviantArt with favorites, because it's not just going into the ether. If you just want to save it, cool, it's saved. Or you can save it to a collection by doing that. There you go.
Now you don't even need to be on your computer. You can go to the park and shit. Look at cool things.
What?
I don't know.
What are you talking about right now?
You don't even need to be on a computer.
Gabe, you were, you know, you went through Journey through June.
I did.
Can you go fix that?
But you posted it on yours,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
I'm gonna have to probably ask you to log out of that account.
God damn it.
I don't want that happening accidentally. Well, no, I'm gonna do the witch hat. This is gonna be, for sure, her final form of some kind. The question is whether she's gonna be in this to start, or it's gonna be her final form, or maybe this is the starting one, but the final form one is maybe a different color version of this, and maybe more detailed. Maybe it's got tassels on it. See, I can get a little detailed because I've been through this rodeo before, but I'm just wondering, and I'm talking out loud, so I will make a decision, but I want you guys to kind of feel the process if you haven't done this before. How do you get into collections? So collections should be on your profile. I was going to say portfolio again. God, I'm in teach mode. So if you go on here to your main thing, go here, and there's the bookmark again. So you go in there, and it's going to be all, because I haven't done really collections, because I'm too lazy to make one, but Acker, thank you for the follow. But yeah, oh, aren't these cute? I love these. They're magnets. Oh my god, little dwarfy hams. But yeah, so you can do it that way. But yeah, it's just the little bookmark right there. Next level tech. I'm actually kind of glad I've gotten away from tech overall. Like, I'm gonna probably have to use Unity again at some point for the job I'm doing right now, which is okay, but at the same time, I feel so much more healthy not being as deep into tech as I used to have to be at my old job. Thank you for the bits, Paladin. You didn't need to do that. Guy. I almost want to make her have buck teeth, doesn't she? No, I do. Actually, I think I do. That could be really cute. Yeah. If I say any opinions, like, I think DeviantArt sucks, that's what I think. If you still like it, that's fine. You can like whatever you want. I'm guaranteeing you we like different movies and things, you know? I mean, everyone's gonna like what they're gonna like for the reasons they like it. I like a lot of stuff that a lot of people think is shit. That's okay. It gives me goosebumps. It doesn't do the same for them, fine. You know? Like what you're gonna like and be unapologetic about it. As long as it doesn't hurt people, you know? That's the main thing. first one. Oh, maybe it won't have a collar. Ooh, I like that idea. So, okay. Hold on. So, she got the puffy sleeve. Goss, did you end up thinking of a character yet? I love Guillermo. Calavera, don't take my words out of context. I love Guillermo. There's just a couple movies of his I don't like. Similar to Shyamalan. I actually like Shyamalan, but every director's got a few fails. I don't hate Guillermo. Don't take my words out of context. Yeah, Ushi, isn't it? Isn't that crazy? Yeah, Skyrim I've got my own beef with. That's a whole thing. Anytime Skyrim comes up, I have to shove it off because that's a whole rant. I don't want to do it. Unless somebody is really, like, interested in why, I'm not going to go there. It's the same as my fan art rant. I'm not going to go on it unless somebody really wants to hear it. Especially nowadays.
Still want to play it with you there.
Why? You have.
Huh?
You
No,
have.
no, on stream.
No! Oh my god, people will hate me, Gabe.
No, that's... I think they'd love it. I think they'd think it's funny as hell.
No,
Yeah.
because it's just going to be me complaining, and I really don't think anyone wants to voluntarily listen to me complain. I don't even like listening to me complain. No, you don't, Calavera. Paladin, I had to make a website because I would get on the fan art rant and it would be 3 hours long. Like, I lost a couple people because of it. Yeah. Goss knows. Goss has been here since the beginning. So I had to make the website to just, when someone comes in and we talk about it and blah, 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 I'd have to send them to the website so I wouldn't even go to it. In the queer space, but I see this section of pieces reading about the idea of genders. What do you mean we're not in the queer space? What is that supposed to mean? You mean we're not gay ourselves? Or what do you mean?
You don't think I know queer things? I've seen the L word.
Buggles!
I've seen all of the L word. Maybe not all of it, but a lot
X,
of it.
what are you talking about? Journey June's story about Hazel? What are you talking about? Yeah, Calavera, right? It's harsh. They are necessary bridges to burn, I feel. I really do. Good, Mage. You should. You should always. I mean, like, oh god, see, I was almost tempted to go into it. I'm not gonna. It's like an addiction for me. I can't. Practice is okay, Buggles. Practice is okay. Do not ever sell it. Here, I'll put the website in. Here's the website. It's like it's an absolute thing that wells up in me. Okay, it's just from going to so many conventions and seeing just tables full of fan art and stuff. It's bad. As an artist, you're stealing time from yourself. Okay, selling it's one thing, time on it's another thing. Okay, I'm not gonna go into it though. I swear to God, I can't do it. It'll be for an hour. It's just use it as training wheels. Just remember that fan art is training wheels. Okay, but really you want to spend your time on your original stuff because that's what's going to matter in the long run. Okay? You guys, you gotta stop. Don't get me into this. Don't pull me in. You know I'll just go crazy. So I won't do it. X, did you read through the prompts? By chance? Because if you read through the prompts, there's at least 2 areas where they can get new gear, or the magic mentor could even do it. I just think it's important for a character not only to have a personality arc, but to also kind of have a visual arc. I think that's almost reflective of their inside. So I'd say it's smart to have it, because otherwise their return home isn't as epic. Think of Stardust, okay? Have you guys seen Stardust? If you haven't, you should watch it. It's a great movie and book. But Tristan starts off as this super materialistic, woman-chasing, nasty boy, gross dude. And then by the end, he's grown up a bit. He's matured. He dresses nice, mainly because of Robert De Niro. But he treats himself with more respect. And it not only reflects in how he talks, but how he looks. And I think that's important. The bee is the sidekick. I'm going to introduce the bee probably around Sticky Situation. She's not going to start off with the bee. If you guys have any sidekicks, really think about if they need to be there right when the story starts. Because otherwise, once you get to the Sticky Situation, Suitable Savior area, that's technically when your sidekick could come in, like for real. So then the rest of the story, you have the two characters. If you have them at the start and then you have someone new come in, you're going to have three characters. So really think about that. And you can ditch people if you want to at certain points. It's whatever you want. But having good reason to do so is usually good. How's the weather? It's hot. It's 80 and it's 10 o'clock. Oh, nice, Vitello. Good job. Yeah, printing them out. That's a good idea. Buggles. So here's all the stuff. Honestly, just go to this link right here that I'm gonna give you. Those are all the like socials, but go there. Sorry. How many pages? You shouldn't even be worried about pages. I mean, obviously at minimum 30. Because if you do, you know, picture a day, that's going to be 30. Remember, they can be pencil roughs as long as we can see what's going on and we know what's happening. Okay, make them clear, readable pencil roughs. They don't have to be illustrated fully. They don't have to be rendered. They don't have to be colored. You guys, I can't stress enough. It doesn't need to be colored, okay? Doesn't need to be. If you don't want it to be, doesn't need to be. If you don't have time for it, don't even worry about it. I would honestly start off doing the least amount. And if you end up having extra time, cool. Maybe flesh it out a bit more.
Work on the next day, actually.
Or work on the next day. Honestly, do that first. Can the sidekick and the magic mentor be the same character? No. As far as the hero's journey goes, not really. They kind of both serve different purposes. The magic mentor, though, doesn't need to stick around. He can just come in and come out. It doesn't even need to be a person. It could be a talking statue. Like, whatever you want. It's just, usually, I think back in the day, it was actually called, this is bad, but it was called I think a magical Negro. I think that was the original thing. So, back in the day. And if you think about it, all the movies that revolved around that time, even The Shining, okay, The Shining is also a hero's journey. And if you think of the magical Negro trope, which that's what it was called, that character was the old man that took care of the hotel, okay? So they don't need to stick around, though. Like I said, it could just be someone to give directions, something like that. Maybe they come in, they give directions, they disappear. It's whatever you want. It could even be like, we keep going back to the grocery store example, just to show you that genre is totally up to you. Hey, Bodie!
Oh,
yeah, Bodie's here. Morning. But we keep going back to the grocery store thing, just so you know, it could be modern, it can be low-level stuff, right? So magical mentor at the grocery store, maybe it's like an old lady who's always smoking, and she's got a gravelly voice, and she's always covered in smoke, and she looks super magical, and she's always outside smoking in the back, you know? So you could treat it magically, you know, but maybe she gives you some life advice, and it's super...
Yo, or it's the dude that takes care of all the frozen items, so he's always, like, in the cave, like,
oh, yeah,
you know,
there you
the
go.
ice cave.
So you get creative with it, you know? Could totally be that. And then maybe the villain's the butcher, I don't know. Or maybe it's the cash register lady. It doesn't have to be like a manager. In fact, I would almost avoid the manager. you know?
Yeah, that's a little too easy.
Yeah. Brian. Let me go look, Brian.
Think about Star Wars. The magical mentor. Who was the magical mentor?
Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Yo, and what happened to them?
Peace!
Fucking dead, gone.
Oh, Brian, yeah, that's really too close. It's honestly mainly in the horns and the eyebrows. If you can do something about that, then I think you'll be better off. What's her power? I'm also a magical maker. Ushi, you're Paddington Bear though, right? And I want you guys to know and even expect that either a little before halfway or a little after halfway or halfway exactly through the month, you're going to get discouraged. Okay? I'm guaranteeing you that's going to happen. And you're going to either plow through it and do some work you're not so proud of, or you do some and you are proud of it, but you're still discouraged. Either way, do not quit. Okay? Because there's always this Steve Jobs quote I can never remember, but it's about sticking with a project, because every project has a wavelength, okay? It's got ups and downs, right? And if you can make it through the most down point of a project, it's gonna come out just at the end elegant, well done, all that stuff. You just have to make it. Okay, get to the end of it. Don't give up, okay? It's like a race. You don't just quit it, you know, run it through.
You guys are on your own hero's journey right now.
You are.
And
it's meta. Yeah, it's super meta.
You're gonna get to the day where there's a day where they, you know, like the hero sort of is wanting to give up, and that's gonna be around the time where you're wanting to give up. It's like in the middle of the month.
Paladin, the magic mentor, could also actually be the old man who owns the telescope in the Virgin story. Yeah. It could also be that guy. There are a couple characters. Yeah, you're discouraged because of the Pokemon challenge in June? Oh man, are you talking about that tweet I got the other day? You gotta be poking me. Yeah, hopefully we're your magical mentors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gabe's your magical Mexican. Good, Ushi, you totally should. I think that'd be great. No, but seriously, if you think about it, Gabe's right. You are on your own journey. So think about it like this. When you get to, what number is it? When they get to weak and wounded, distracted and delayed, about 18, 19, 20, those days, you're going to get those days too. And it's okay. You're supposed to get through them. Be revved up by the fact that you are going through the journey yourself. You know,
it's basically never-ending story, like where he's sort of living a thing too.
Yeah, we're the bookstore owners. Yeah, you guys are our bastions and our Atreyus.
Getting chased down.
Actually, no, you're not our Atreyus. Your Atreyus are your characters. Mm-hmm. You are Bastion. We're the bookshop owner. How magical must the mentor be? So that's usually just the trope name is magical mentor. Honestly, guys, since this is a well-known formula, feel free to research all these tropes we've mentioned. They are true. There's some called crossing the threshold, the magical mentor. They all don't need to be what they say they are. When we say dungeon descent, don't take that literally. Okay? It doesn't have to mean that. It's basically just, you know, extrapolate that to be, well, you're going into the bad place, you know? Technically, I went through a hero's journey with Jason, right? Going back. But the magical mentor doesn't need to be. What did I put for that? We put group finds a character or entity with magical or special abilities. Now, special abilities could be tech. All right, maybe they have technology that, you know, looks magical or anything like that, where maybe they're just really smart. They're just a mentor. That's okay, you know? Like we were saying, the magic mentor could just be the old lady who smokes a lot at the grocery store that's on shift at night and tells you some life advice. I mean, really, get creative with it. You know, don't take these completely as literal as they are. The only thing we care about is really the arc of the story and how it weaves in and out, and that you do a couple of the things pretty close to what they are in terms of what they need to communicate, you know? Can you get a dragon? I says she's Artax. No! Oh no! She can't be Artax. No. Yeah, you guys, don't take them totally literally. I mean, when in doubt, use the grocery store, okay? Just go back to the grocery store. Yeah. Honestly, all the obstacles, they don't have to be physical things. You know, think about what's physical, what's mental. Like I was saying, my villain isn't even a villain. You know, get creative. Start thinking about how movies have changed these tropes to fit them. Is Tron technically Hero's Journey? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
The new one? And the old one, I guess.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, because
he comes back.
Well, in the first one, they steal his program and he's trying to get it back. Yeah. And then he gets sucked into the shit without his consent.
But the villain was never actually tangible, right? He was just the master, I forgot his name. Master something.
It was the computer.
Yeah, so he wasn't even tangible. He had to beat him by non-tangible means and stuff like that. So it could be mental. It could be, the villain can be the main character's mind. You know, it can be whatever you want. Gabe's story is actually kind of fun. He's got some twist to it. He's Shyamalaning it. But, like me, I don't have a villain, you know? Yay! Yeah, thumbnails are fine. Absolutely. The new Tron's actually good, Ushi. If you did like the old one, the new one's pretty enjoyable. If you like the world and stuff. It's cheesy and campy, but if you like cheese and camp, it's good. Yeah, Buggles. So right now, make sure you just get your hero fleshed out and figure them out a little bit before June starts. Because really, you guys are in a great place right now regardless. You have already been thinking about it. Even Buggles, coming into this right now, you're still ahead of everybody else that sees this after June 1st. Think of how shitty that is. And we've thought about this, and there's nothing we can do about it. Really. I mean, unless someone wants to kick ass and, you know, try to get them done coming into it like week 3. You know, it's basically who starts it. When we start it, that's why we got the idea 2 weeks ago. And we were like, let's just do it. So we did it right away so people would have more time to prepare. So you had at least around 2 weeks if you knew us. But the people coming in late, they're not going to have that much time.
And I think, like, for some of those people that are coming in late, I think we're going to tell them, yo, you know, just write down the first few. Just write them down. And then, you know, while you're writing down those, you know, like, start working, like, it's day 5. Start working on day 5. On your off time, write down days 1 through 4.
Yeah,
just write them down.
Remember, it's not bad to write stuff down. One of the things I always do when I start actually nitty-gritty writing a story is using note cards. Okay, note cards are fantastic because they're cheap, first of all. You get a whole pack of them for like $2. But then when you lay them out, it's basically an outline you can shift around. And I've looked online for digital versions of this, and I've had a couple, and there's something about tangibly feeling them and looking at them that makes you know your story better than if you just did it on a computer. So I honestly recommend you guys get note cards. It works really damn well. 12 pages in. Kev, yes! Proud of you. Get it out. Yeah, you're ahead of the game. So now if you end up going to someone's birthday party or somebody's, I don't know, wedding or whatever, you're going to be ahead of the game. You won't have to worry about catching up. If you're posting, though, you'll have to remember to post. That's tough. That can be really tough. But in the meantime, you're doing it, Peter. Good job. You're doing it, Peter. Someone said that on Instagram the other day in one of their Insta stories, and I lost my shit. I thought that was just something Gabe and I did, but Paladin, you're overflowing the cup, homie. Yeah, Ushi, good job. Because other than that, you can turn them over and write what's happening in the scene. So if you do get a day where you're like, maybe I should go back and flesh out a couple of my, thumbnails, what was happening on this, and you can just look on the back with your notes, right? Here. So just so you guys know, this is one of my bigger stories I have. It's gonna be pretty big, but it's this thick, okay? So the whole thing is, there's a trick to it, and it's held by a binder clip, which is really nice. You lay all these out, right, after you've kind of written them all down. Ideally, write down an outline, and then, transfer it to the cards and move them around. And if you need to add something, you can move a bunch of cards up, put a new card down, write what it needs to be. And then when you're done, remember to start collecting the cards from the end first, because then the next time you put them down, they'll be the right way, okay? So that can be tough, but like on this is all I've got. And like, you can just write dialogue on here too if you want to insert some dialogue. If you don't like it, take out the dialogue. Like, it's whatever you want. And like, I don't even use the line side. I use the back of it. So like, do your stories that way, because then you've got them physically too. And then once you've gotten to a good point with that, transfer it over to a Google Doc. Google Docs are good because then it's with you wherever you go. You've got them in multiple places, and that's always good. No, X, no, neither. I think I've made 6 new stories the last time we had talked. And I probably won't do Madrick or Agatha. Again, Agatha was more of a therapy story. She actually turned into Adabel, and that's actually a steampunk story now. And I don't even like steampunk, but I was like, this is what this story is. The story is steampunk. I may not like steampunk, but the story is. Yeah, the good thing is I got a lot more done on these new stories than I did on my old stories, so that's good. Like these I've already done. Gabe and I actually have a story together we started too, that we just fleshed out one day at a coffee shop. We might do it, we might not. I don't know.
Which one's that?
Leap Squeak?
Yeah.
Maybe. I have a feeling we're going to get to a point we go back and look at our outline and we're going to be like, not so much anymore. Something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. That one's not as cool as my other ones. Plus, I've outgrown it. Remember, guys, sometimes you outgrow stories, and that's normal. That's perfectly fine. A lot of my other stories now are way more me, and they're more, I have more passion for them now, and they fit me better than my old ones do. But yeah, it's, I don't know. The other one was just therapeutic because when I lost my mom, I didn't know how to react, so I made a story kind of around a little girl that was in a similar type situation. And it was during my sci-fi phase too, which I have long since passed. So it wouldn't even make sense now, as I'm not sci-fi anymore. That was not bad. I actually kind of like how simple this one is. And then if she levels out, oh god, I'm getting to a Willow scenario with this. Which I guess is fine. Why would I spend that much time, though, X, on something I don't want to do anymore? You say it like it's so easy. Just write a script. Just make it a novel. Not a big deal. Night, Ushi. I like your post-it note emoji. That's cute. mean, I don't know about you, but I haven't actually written a novel before. I don't really want to write a novel.
Ooh, yeah.
I never want to write a novel.
It's not fun. I thought I did.
You wrote a novella, actually.
It's not really. It's
100 pages is a novella.
No, but it's not, because it's not tied together.
It is by universe. Also, your eye is bleeding.
Bleeding?
Yeah, go look. Your right eye on the outside is bleeding.
It's like
I'm not gonna write a novel for something I don't like. Why would I do that? Bye, Calavera. I would definitely try to do something new. All the stuff we did in high school, trash it. Absolutely trash it. It's probably not even new at this point.
Yep. Concur.
Kev, it'd be ideal, but if you get ahead of the game, I guess it doesn't matter as long as you have it built up. You know what I mean? So, like, if you do through day 5 and you go and you skip around to the other ones, I wouldn't skip, though. Because you might establish something in, like, day 7, and if you've already done day 22 or something, you can't easily retrofit. I mean, you could, but you'd have to remember.
Marimar. Oh!
What?
There was this awesome show called Marimar.
What was it?
It was about this girl.
Wait, did I see it? Is it the Ugly Betty one?
Nah.
Oh.
And then there was another one called, well, it's this actress, and her name, well, she's also a singer, but her name is Thalia.
Talia?
Yeah.
Oh.
And she was in this other one called Maria del Barrio, which was awesome. This is this girl from the barrio, which is the ghetto.
Why is it called the barrio?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know what barrio means, but
I was gonna say, does that translate to something or no?
I don't know. Probably. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know the translation. I used to watch this shit all the time.
Is that on it, those burritos?
Nah. No. This is like a classic soap. It's like old soap.
Oh. Is that one of the ones they slap each other a lot?
Actually, the girl that you always see,
The
you
long
know,
brown hair.
yeah, and it's like a bob cut.
Yeah,
almost.
she's like slapping people.
That's where she's from.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the one.
Gabe, your eye is bleeding. Also, your eye is bleeding. Also, you've got cancer. Also, your cat's dead.
No, it's my I woke up at like 8. I never wake up that early unless it's like pertinent.
Like we had to because they were doing like inspections to make sure basically to make sure everyone's heater's off now that everybody's using air conditioning. So they go around and they physically feel your heater. It's like, you can tell us you can do that? I don't know.
I could have told you, motherfucker.
Yeah, it was funny.
I'm not stupid.
I mean...
But no, it's my eye is just it's like red right now.
And he's
strain.
been well, how many pages have you been doing a day for how long? 'Cause I actually think it's that.
At least 2.
With low lighting. Remember I told you it strains your eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have the light on. I have the light on. It is on. But I'm on page 3, I think.
I think that's a lot better, Brian. Good job. That looks way better. Look, so his first one looked like Maleficent.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
it was just mainly this, right?
Yeah.
And then he changed it to this. I think this looks a lot better.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like it. It's a lot more violent, in my opinion.
This is one of those things that you don't do, but it looks like she could be Brainiac? Not Brainiac,
Megamind?
Freakazoid's sister.
I do like Freakazoid.
But
still holds up. Still holds up.
Oh yeah. It is very WB looking though.
That's okay though.
Yeah, no, that's
that
totally
means it's simple.
Yeah.
And it is simple, and you did a good job.
Exactly.
Yeah, good job, Brian.
Hey yo,
notch.
Real talk though, guys. I know y'all don't play video games because you're like us, and you draw all the time.
All the time.
You don't have time for video games.
Yeah, not one of you.
But did you guys see this new game that came out? It's called Moonlighting, I think. It's dope.
I don't think it's called Moonlighting.
Moonlighting, yeah.
Wasn't it just Moonlight or something?
No, it's because he's moonlighting.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. You're right. I remember you saying something else. My bad.
Yeah.
I admit when I'm wrong. I know.
It's a pretty cool concept. Apparently, it's sort of biting off of a different concept of an old game.
Is it really?
But only the item shop part.
Well, that's okay though.
Because I saw I looked up a video of it and I didn't see them going into dungeons at all. So
Yeah.
they made it more relative, I guess. No.
Relevant?
Relevance. Funner. Funner. Real fun.
It's the funnerest.
It's the funnerest.
I think this might actually work. So I like the juxtaposition to her underdress to her overcoat to show that her underdress is a little bit frillish and her overcoat is very thick and kind of rigid.
Here's another good reason why you shouldn't A, use really detailed characters, and B, don't stress out about inking it or getting it like really fleshed out and shit.
Yeah, that's
or
not
colored.
what you should be focusing on.
Think about it this way: if you can finish that piece, you can just finish up the sketch. Like in an hour or two, maybe 3 hours. It means you got the rest of the day to do whatever the fuck you want, or you can start on the next day and get ahead.
I would suggest doing the next day if you're having a really good day where you're really like all the prompts are clicking, you're understanding everything, it's flowing good. Take advantage of that, because if you ever want to be a freelancer or an independent artist, it's really important you understand your own artistic ebb and flow and to take advantage of it. So when you're actually in the zone and you're done with something, dude, grab onto it again and keep going. Throw something else on the fire. If the flame is going, keep feeding it, Some days it's going to be hard to stoke the fire, and you're going to be like, but at least maybe you have food made from the previous fire, Think about it like that. Think about your creativity and your motivation stuff is a fire, campfire. And that all the food you're cooking on it is all your projects and all of the things that you want to get done, all that stuff artistically. So if the fire is really hot today, there's no wind, everything's working well, you've got a lot of dry leaves, everything's good. Keep cooking stuff so that you have enough set aside for the days when the fire's not so lit, Stockpile. Kev, yeah, don't make heroin. Pro tips from Kevroom. Don't make heroin. If Nightshade were here, he would mention that his car got stolen and turned into a meth lab. Were he here? I don't know if he's here. He lurks sometimes. Nightshade, are you here? No. Okay. Just checking. Soggy, hi! That's how the fuck I walk in. Is this about the meth lab? Toxic arson. Oh yeah, that's different. Thanks, Buggles. Soggy, I had something I wanted to tell you and I've forgotten. Oh, it was about Parks and Rec. So Gabe and I started Parks and Rec again, and I think we were wrong to tell you season 2 or 3. It's probably closer to 4 or 5, because we were watching and we're like, Tom's not even the Tom we like right now. Like, Tom's character wasn't even Tom. Even Ron was wearing a suit for like the first season into season 2 halfway. Ron never wears a suit. Like, a lot of the characters aren't solidified until I think season 4 or 5. Sorry we misquoted you on that. I feel bad. I wanted to apologize.
It's fucking Dan Brenowitz guy.
Yeah, it's Mark.
It's Mark. He's fucking everything up.
Mark is basically Ben Wyatt from later, but earlier, and they didn't need him yet. Like, it was too early for him.
As soon as you
he's
get...
also very Jim from The Office.
Yeah.
And he doesn't fit into Parks and Rec.
As soon as you get Ben Wyatt in there and Chris Traeger, that's when the fun starts.
Yeah, Ben and Chris Traeger are really what make Parks and Rec great. They add this dynamic that needed to be there to take you out of the Parks and Rec crew to give you a different view of them. So yeah. It's true. So, but it gets different. I know we keep saying that, but like I said, you're right. We started watching it again, and what we were saying was wrong. It doesn't start till a little later. Oh, good. Okay, so you're where Ben and Chris come in. Okay, if you don't like it after, you know, a season of Ben and Chris, I get it. Then it's fine. It's not your thing. Understood. Understood. I love Chris Traeger.
It might also be a little too lighthearted.
I think Soggy's gonna hate Chris.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's gonna rub you wrong, but in a good way. Like, he's a necessary character because everyone finds him annoying, but he's so sweet, you know? And perfect. She looks so young in this one. She actually looks like Blossom. Damn it! Ah. Maybe I can change that.
Draw a human?
No, but she's wearing like Blossom's hat.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Blossom.
Maybe I should just give her a visor. Say fuck it. You give up when you wear a visor. I don't know. I still gotta think about this because I don't know how I want her to be yet.
Lickable dick? I get it.
What? Oh, likable. Yeah, they're all dogs basically, except for April. April's a cat, so is Donna. Tom's kind of a dog with a Napoleon complex. Leslie's a dog. Leslie's like a Cocker Spaniel.
What did you say, Donna's a cat?
Donna's a cat.
Yeah.
Andy is a dog, 100%, obviously. Ron is a cat. Ron is a cat, 100,000,000%. Look at Ron's face. He's a Persian.
But I feel like he's also No, he's also
Sam Elliott is a dog.
No, I think he's a grumpy dog.
No. Because think of Sam Elliott.
No, I agree, but
But remember all those cats that look like Ron?
No, but I'm saying like when Ron gets really excited,
yeah,
he's totally a dog.
Cats get excited though too. You forget that.
Yeah, but not as much.
I think Ron's a cat. With how disgruntled he hates people, he's full of hate. He's a cat. Who am I forgetting? Anne's a dog. She's like one of those, what are they, Armenian? She's like one of those dogs that's got the long hair.
I was going to say she's a poodle.
Oh, she might be a poodle. Oh, bye, Jaunty. But Ron looks like cats. He looks like the diabetes cat.
He looks like Angry Cat.
He does look like Grumpy Cat, too. He looks like so many cats. Look up the diabetes cat. It's Ron Swanson. And Wilford Brimley, but still. That face is just so Ron. Like this cat, I don't even know what this thing says, but this cat is Ron Swanson. Look at his face.
Outsiders. Nothing gold can stay.
Ushi, are you still here? I don't think he is. Stay gold, one boy. Kind of like this one. And this one. This one's good though too. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this. In the meantime, I wonder if I should work on that. Oh, it's been 2 hours, hasn't it? Soggy, have you seen Step Brothers? Hey Gabe, are you doing a comic book format with your journey?
No. I mean, it might be like
I could see you doing up to 3.
yeah, maybe like max 3, maybe 4 for pacing, but otherwise, yeah, no, I don't have time to do that.
Okay, Soggy, so you know Derek, Will Ferrell's brother in Step Brothers? That's Ben Wyatt. So it's really weird to like see that Ben Wyatt can also be a douchebag, but then his wife in Step Brothers shows up later in Parks and Rec as another character. So it's like this whole crew sticks around together. I don't know. You haven't seen a lot of the things that like have to do with your humor that we've asked before. I don't know. I just like to be sure. I don't want to assume. No, I'm saying I'm trying not to assume your movie choice. Oh my god.
Do you think I'm here for your amusement?
Ooh. Calavera, are you still here or did you leave? I think you left. Yeah, he drove to work. I know, Soggy. 1 to 3 calendar pages. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I was saying earlier that if you're gonna panel it, you're gonna have an easier time than the people just doing the one-shot, which I'm probably gonna try for just the one-shot images, like a storybook. Those get more difficult because each character that's in the scene has to have a purpose they're fulfilling and like a mission if you've got more than one character in there. So it can get kind of dicey. If I find that too difficult for the time I'm allotted in that day, or if I haven't bought myself a buffer, I'm going to probably supplement it with another action thing. I don't know. Because like I said, you can always go back. You know, always go back. What did you guys eat for dinner? I had French silk pie and chicken nuggets because I'm an adult. And I went to the gym today. Gabe had pie and casserole.
And a chicken nugget. 2 chicken nuggets.
You had at least 3.
I had 2.
Did you?
No.
There was a piece of a little one.
Yeah, I had that one too. Soggy, did you check out that staffing agency?
If you gotta go back to Walmart, Soggy, do it. It's just, go back knowing that it's just to get a car. You know? I understand that you probably don't have many options and that you maybe haven't been able to look very often at what's around, but if you do have to go back, which sucks.
Indian food.
Ooh, nice. Lucky. How often do you have Indian food, though? Because you married an Indian man, right? I have Mexican, like, 4 times a week. But, to be fair, I actually grew up eating a lot of Mexican food. My dad really, for some reason, loves Mexican food, so he always made it. It was really good for a white man. He knew he was doing, I think. But I know, Soggy. We're not trying to get it out of you. I mean, Gabe was. That's why I'm trying to avoid it. But you brought it up.
Yeah, you brought it up, dude. Come on.
You brought it up, and you know we care. So don't worry. We're not talking about it anymore.
Yeah, no. I thought that was an invitation to talk about it.
No, he just wanted to vent for a second. He
Gotcha.
wrote that. So that's it. He's a better cook than you are? Oh. Cooking's so fun, though. You should try to cook more. It's fun. Just don't stay there forever. Sorry. Probably should have made that clear. Okay, so... yeah, I think this will work. I have to sit on this idea for a bit. This is the other thing that's like, do it early because you can sit with this idea, you know? It's like, this just feels like her so much now. And that's the problem. Honestly, this was a pre-designed character that I probably shouldn't have used, even though I just drew one picture of her ever. But because of that one picture, she didn't even have a story, but because of that one picture, this outfit is burned into my brain. Okay, so like, I can't picture her in anything else. And this is why I told you guys, don't use any pre-existing characters, make new ones. Even if you've just drawn them once. Make it with the intent. I thought I'd be able to unsee this, so that's why I've got to think about it. And sometimes that's okay. You know, you can draw something and the answer doesn't have to be right there. You know, it might take a day or two. Sometimes weeks. No, I'm admitting I was wrong, Soggy. But I do think that it's smarter that everyone makes one specifically for this story. Which I did decide to pull the trigger on using her, but as I was saying,
I think
I drew her once.
The problem is most people take a character that they've been working with since they were in middle school, so...
we're not talking about those.
Yeah. Put those on the shelf, never go back to them.
More honey. No, X, that wouldn't work with her story. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. I appreciate you trying, but I usually jam with Gabe if I need something.
One of my teachers, I remember like one really sobering thing that he said to like all the students. It was like storyboarding class, I think.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, I want you guys to tell me, you know, like, the assignment was like, you know, like tell me a concept for a story.
Yeah.
And he said something to the effect of, and I don't want to hear anything that you came up with in high school or in grade school or when you were a baby. I don't want to hear any of that. If you can't come up with something brand new, you should probably look into a different profession.
And that's completely true. If you don't get ideas all the time, honestly, you can't be like a concept artist or you can't be like a storyteller. You need to have this stuff constantly kind of going, or at least be able to teach yourself how to think like that all the time.
I think he also said something like, I don't want to hear what your preteen self came up with. I want something that adult you is, you know.
Yeah, because you change, you know. I know, X, no one does really. I mean, I haven't told her story really yet. I mean, I'm waiting for the actual story. Because some of the things I don't even know. I'm just going to figure it out on the fly. If you guys have checked out my daily story bits hashtag on Instagram, I've done stories just daily before that. Every day, I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I wanted to make it a story, so I would put myself through this kind of gauntlet, so to speak, where every day I would know I'd have to make another point to the story, and a lot of the time I wouldn't plan it, but I would go with what felt right. And I think, you know, when you're a storyteller, you eventually hone over time and mistakes how a good story should go, you know. I'm still not to making great stories, but you gotta make stories to do them, you know. I still think, though, I get what you're saying, but I think adult you now would still not do teen you's idea justice. I feel like you should have done it when you were a teen then, to actually have those feelings injected into the story, because you don't have a lot of those feelings anymore. You've grown up, the world's beaten you up a bit, you've been through a lot of things, you've gotten married and had a kid. Teenage Michelle didn't have that. There's a difference obviously already there. So I feel like adult you is not teen you, so teen story you is not you anymore. And if you've only ever had that story, and it's like 15 years later, make more stories. Make more stories. You can say that, but I'll believe it when I see it. How about that? I'll challenge you. Do it. Prove me wrong, Michelle. Prove me wrong. Because usually it doesn't work out that way. And I agree with Gabe's teacher. If you're not thinking of new ideas and doing new things all the time, you know, and that's where fan art hurts. You're not thinking of new things. You're regurgitating other people's things. Work out your original art brain, you know, things you want to get out on paper, all that stuff. Alright, let's make a regular bear villager. How about that? Okay, that sounds like more of a religious thing or something, so I won't touch that. Oh, hi, Lon. How you doing? I'm gonna call these other bears. Or burrs. I'm gonna call them burrs. How many more pages you got of ink tonight? 3?
As many as I can get.
How many have you done today so far?
About to finish 3. 4 left. I learned a new word.
What?
Slaps.
Slaps? S-L-A-P-S?
These are slaps.
Oh.
When people tag on the priority mail stickers,
Oh, yeah.
they're called slaps. Because you just slap them somewhere. But that's like, that is like a level of letting go of your art. Like if you put that shit up on a wall somewhere, like in random area, like 99% chance it's gonna get torn down by someone or something.
What are you talking about? Sorry, I was reading the chat.
You know when people do like graffiti on these, and then
Oh,
they put
yeah.
them on like a, you know, like a wall or a bathroom stall or a newspaper
Yeah.
holder, poles.
No, I'm not saying like, you guys, I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm not saying books for teens written by teens. I'm saying that if you've got a story you made when you were a teenager, I don't think going back to it when you're an adult is going to have the same flavor, is all I'm saying. I think it's going to lose some of the luster it would have had if you even wrote it all when you were a teen and adapted it now. I think that's different, but yeah, I'm not saying, you know, kids should write stories. I'm just saying if you haven't written it yet, which I'm referring to her specifically, she's got stories she had when she was in high school, and she never wrote them, really, and now she's talking about doing them. I'm saying that, like, you know, you're going to be in a different mindset, so you might as well just make new stories. I just don't see the problem with that. It's good to let go of characters. It's good to let go of things.
I feel also like when
I'm sorry about your mom's cancer, Mom. That's really...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hope they caught it, too. I'm really sorry to hear that.
I think when you do come up with some, like, you know, like I've got stories from when I was a kid, that thinking back on them, I think like when you grow up and you've written more things and you've actually finished them, and then you start reflecting on the stories that you had when you were younger, you look at them and you're like, okay, that's not as great as I thought it was, you know? But I do like these aspects of the story. I'm going to steal those and put them into this new story that is much better.
Oh, and to be fair, X, I don't know if you've seen Supernatural, but If you remember my story with Madrick, Supernatural is that. When we first started watching it, I lost my shit because it's basically the same story. Yeah, and it was like, okay, so I didn't see a need to do it anymore. There wasn't a void to fill because there it is. And I was like, well, I can at least watch it happen now, you know? So that happens. Sometimes it does happen. Your stuff that you thought of ends up on the screen and someone else does it. That's okay.
Come up with something new.
Yeah, and I was like, well, oh well, that one's over. On to the next one.
Well, yeah, Gabe, what? Oh, but yeah, Sagi, exactly. That mindset that it's not gonna last forever. I mean, you can scan it and shit, but basically it's not gonna be there forever. You know what I was thinking about?
I've seen all 13 seasons, like,
yeah, man,
and twice. Like, if you did like my Madrick story, you're gonna like Supernatural. It's the same thing. What were you saying, Gabe? Sorry.
I was thinking about. I just saw somebody post. I was looking at slaps on Instagram.
Yeah.
And this guy is painting over like Polaroids.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember doing that like years ago, but I only did it like once.
You did it first, everybody.
But I was gonna do that, but it totally like jogged my memory because like this is before they made those little Polaroid things, you know, like the one that I have.
Mm-hmm.
It's back when so what happened with Polaroid is that they went bankrupt or whatever, and then they shut down their factory that made the Polaroid film, and then these dudes, probably dudettes also, got money together and they basically bought that factory and they brought it back to life, and they were using all the old shit, and I think it's called the Impossible Project. So if you Google Impossible Project, they basically restarted the Polaroid industry by selling like manufactured Polaroid stuff that you could use in the old Polaroid cameras. And so I was all about that. So I bought a couple, and they weren't that great. They would come out shitty sometimes, but once in a while you get a good one. It wasn't worth it. But now that they got these little Polaroid cameras, I'm gonna start doing some of those. Maybe I'll do those as
art drops.
Well, no, like take a picture of someone, because that's what I did. I had taken a picture of someone and then I just drew like armor on them.
Go for it.
But that might be a cool like Patreon thing that I could do.
How would you take a picture of them?
I don't know. I'd probably have to do like take a picture of a picture.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know, it would suck. Or maybe a convention thing. I don't know.
I think the convention thing would work. Like, the only problem's going to be having a sign that in one sentence sums up what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing.
Yeah.
Nightshade's here, and so is Eric.
Hey, banana.
Hey,
Nightshade.
Eric. All night, Brian. You did good work tonight. Good job.
What's going on?
Didn't they already have a kids graphic novel section? I'm confused.
Yeah, they've had to some degree a kids graphics section.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't like full fledged, but
it's always kind of been there. I guess now they're just embellishing it.
it's
I don't know.
it's probably like really like, because I think it was a lot of the kids stuff is mixed in with the regular graphic novels.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I could see that.
So now it's probably all in the kids section, which is bullshit. Because now I gotta go over there too. Come on, man. I'm gonna look like a weirdo. Looking for.
Oh yeah, I know young readers are the
Yeah.
biggest. It's honestly, I would say it's thanks to libraries.
Yeah.
And mainly just libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are the only ones that really use libraries anymore.
Hmm?
College students, yeah, sometimes, but they're going for very specific things. kids go to libraries for everything. They like to peruse. It's the only thing they can do to get new content that's free.
Yeah.
I love libraries for that reason.
I mean, like...
Why is it super interesting for Gabe?
Oh, no, I agree.
Why?
I mean, like, I've been seeing this trend in kids' graphic novels, like, for the past, like, 5 years, because I've been doing that... I do a webcomic that's for kids, and it's free. If you want to check it out, it's called albertthealien.com.
Well, I'm sure Trevor knows about this then.
Yeah, yeah. No, so, I mean, I started doing that
Gabe
comic...
doesn't do kids' comics.
No, yeah, I don't typically, no.
Yeah,
I do that one freelance, but when I first started doing that project, it was for a project called Reading with Pictures, and it was basically this company wanted to start putting out like lesson plans in the form of comics. So you'd read like a 10-page comic, and they would teach you algebra instead of having the teacher sit there and try to explain shit to you. If a lot of kids learn visually. Not all kids learn by just by looking at words and shit.
I would almost think all kids learn visually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what they were, this Reading with Pictures book was trying to do is, like the novel itself, the graphic novel itself was designed to be, you can use it in class and teach lessons with it. And so we've been seeing a lot of, whenever I would table at shows next to my writer, we'd see a lot of like teachers and librarians come through, and they're like, "This is perfect. This is like absolutely perfect because kids are learning."
I'm telling you though, it's really stupid hard to get into a children's book. Anything.
Yeah.
I've got a children's book and that I wrote and illustrated, and I went to ALA, which is the American Library Association, and even just finding someone there that's like an agent. You need an agent. You can't do it without one. You can maybe be just an illustrator, but you have to find the writers, but to be someone actually in that industry that keeps getting found and, repurposed for different titles, you need somebody. You can't do it otherwise.
It's literally like being a movie star. Like, you can't just go up to like Universal and be like, "Hey, can you guys
Put me in a movie."
Yeah, can I be in a movie? No.
Like, you need an agent.
You need an agent. The agent will do all the work for you. They will get you the jobs. They will find you the script. They will find you aka the writer that you pair up with.
So the only thing really that I wanted to do then was just to make my kids' book and to sell it to people. So I self-publish it, and I've got another shipment coming in the 6th of June. So if you guys can't find, the means to obviously have a real publisher, or you can't find an agent, do it yourself. And eventually, if you're doing it good, you're pimping it well enough, and you're doing a lot of it again and again and again. So if I eventually have 5 books on my table that I wrote and illustrated, and I'm in the right place at the right time, that's gonna be a lot to show. Right now, just having the one doesn't do much for me. Luckily, I have 4 books on my table, but still only one of them is one I wrote and illustrated. The other ones are either art books or a coloring book, but yeah.
I think too, now that comics are starting to breach the book world so much, like if you guys go into Barnes & Noble, you see like the graphic novel section, it just keeps expanding and growing. So I think soon enough, like the literary agents are gonna start to realize, like, all right, I need, fresh artists for this graphic novel shit. And I mean, even like Oni Press, like they're jumping into the
realm?
Huh?
The kid realm?
Yeah, the kids books and shit. I mean, they have been for a while, so. But,
they're jumping into a lot of stuff. They're doing the sex ed.
Yeah.
They're doing that. They're doing a lot more in the queer community.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're busy. They're busy.
Cleveland.
Oh, nice. Is that far away from where you usually are, Eric? Or do you live around there still? It's just kind of a nice place to go for you, or? Oh, 8 hours, wow.
Wow. Jesus.
Do you have other family in Ohio then? Is that why you went? I almost don't want to put bunnies in this.
Bunnies?
Yeah. Just for the Peter Rabbit thing anyway. Kinda just want bears. I don't know.
I don't see why not.
Well, for the end.
Oh. Alright.
But I mean, even then, I guess if that was a bear, I'd be like, oh, okay. Okay. Kind of like this plant lady. She's cute. And never underestimate self-promotion. It can go a long way. Especially, you know, showing people that you're willing to put in the work. I feel like that's really one of the best things, is if you're showing people, yeah, I go around everywhere pimping my art and stuff, you know, they're gonna know you're serious, you want it, you know, you're putting in the effort. You're just at home on the internet all the time, you know, you're not necessarily gonna get there.
Especially if you have a good, like let's say you do shows. You have a really nice table set up. It's going to show that you actually care about yourself and your product. But if you just got like you didn't even bring like a tablecloth, and you got like...
Yeah, show up. If you're going to be there, show up. Put in the effort.
You got a bag of Doritos sitting on there and like lettuce from your sandwich like sticking to one of your books? No.
It's like what we were saying about having your own domain name.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Bye, Soggy.
Night, Soggy. I don't know, I kind of just like the simplicity of having a bunch of bears.
Mm-hmm.
This one will be kind of a derpy bear. Really scraggly redneck bear, maybe. Soggy got back on a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Soggy.
Good evening.
He has risen. The hamster's up.
Kev Rum, are you still around? Are you still around? Mr. Barton!
Did you check the
Did you say you're gonna do a comic then? Are you gonna do a few panels per page? Or are you just going little illustrations?
Little illustrations. Little illustrations. Alright, there's a few birds. I like playing with their ear types, having them really low and kind of floppy, or having them really high and tight. Obviously, this is more of a curly bear. I like that. And he's got little. Oh, that's cute. I've been eating so much watermelon.
Right?
But it's been good because it fills us up.
Yeah.
It's like
really
water and flesh. Watery flesh.
I started eating it with my lunch, and I was like, all right, I gotta stop doing that. Because it was like, I could feel that it was just gonna fill me up.
That's good though.
You know?
That's the equivalent to when they say to drink a glass of water before your meal.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, 1 to 3 pounds, maybe more if I feel saucy. We're gonna go. I got 2 hours into this just talking and stuff. I probably shouldn't have done that much, but I have to go work on this dog. I got 2 done today of the birds, but I have to finish this dog portrait. It's not fully rendered yet. And then I also have to do the number for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day before June. Is that true? No, we have 1 more day. Wait, 2 days. Tomorrow's 1. Oh, we have a 0 day? Did we count down wrong?
I think so.
Today's the 29th. Wednesday's the 30th. Oh, wait, tomorrow. What is today? Okay, today's 2, 1, 0. We have a 0 day. I think we thought there were 30 days in May.
There are 30 days in May.
It's 31.
Oh, so we have 0. Well.
Oh, we fucked up.
Okay.
You got an extra day. Kev, it's your birthday?
What?
Where is it? This is my duty. I will perform it for you now. This thing? I don't do this enough. Happy birthday, Kev. I hope that embarrassed you a little. Just a smidge. Happy birthday, Kev! June is the day after tomorrow. Yeah. But tomorrow's day 1 on our countdown. So the 31st will be day 0. So I guess last day for June. How did we fuck up that bad?
I think we thought that it was gonna count down to that. But I mean, maybe we treat it as a, like, are you ready? Just like a...
Yeah, like a launch day.
Yeah.
Only you guys will know that we miscounted, not on purpose.
That, or, I mean...
I got you, Kev. I got you.
I guess that maybe it's psyching people out, too. To, like, like, oh shit, I gotta post.
No, that's good. Yeah. If anything, this is better than counting wrong the other way. Like, we get down to 2 days left and tomorrow is June. Like, that would have been bad. So... yeah, I've got a calendar right there. We just didn't look at it. Also, I think there is still a huge lag between when I say stuff and you guys hear stuff. Anyway. Alright guys, so Paladin, if you're here, thank you for filling the cup. I think you left though. Thank you. And for anybody else who gave bits, thank you. I appreciate it. Don't forget, Journey June starts in 3 days. or whatever, 2 days now. I don't know. It's Friday. Right? Friday. Yeah, Friday. June 1st is Friday, so get your heroes ready, because they're going to ship out then, alright? What else? If you have any questions, if any of the prompts are confusing you for whatever reason, let us know. We'll be happy to tell you what they mean. Remember, you don't need to fully render anything. Make sure to check the Journey Through June Instagram. We have tips all the time. We have things to motivate, you know, help, anything like that. So, yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Tomorrow, Gabe's stream, 4 p.m. Central. Okay? That's in, how many hours is that? 14? 14 hours from a half an hour from now. Alright. Thanks, guys, so much for coming.